news. Cinema.
Keep doing what you do. Niggas are sick, I sweep through them like a flu. Had two. I just creep through and get a few, but I nail your girl, she keeps throwing at me too. I know how all y'all feel. First New York nigga with a Paul grill. Bling, blow. I ain't come to play, I'ma bring down.
We looked at designer fragrances that I think I could mistake for niche. If I didn't know any better and I didn't see them with the label on them or whatever. And so this week we're doing the inverse. I'm going to talk to you about 5, actually 6, one honorable mention, niche fragrances that I might think are designer if I didn't know any better. And again, this isn't good or bad. I'm just letting you know that, yeah, maybe I would mistake these and I would think they were designer. If I didn't know any better, doesn't mean they're poor in quality, or some of them it's the exact opposite, but just in terms of composition and maybe not being that risk-taking. Fragrances. So let's go through them. The first one is an honorable mention, and this one I put in the list because to me this smells a lot like a very esteemed and well-liked designer scent from the house of Terry Mugler called Angel Man. This one from the house of by Kilian is called Intoxicated, and I don't like Angel Man. I don't like the tar. I think the patchouli is too up front, and I love Intoxicated. This one has really, really strong coffee note, like a Turkish espresso. It's got cardamom, it's got cocoa, it's got cinnamon. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and there's a chance if I smell this, I might think it was an Amen flanker. I would probably think, oh, Amen, Mugler got their shit together and did this fragrance right, but I might get fooled. So that's my honorable mention. Next scent up is going to be from the house of Bond Number 9. And this one is called Bleecker St. And Bleecker St, I think I might get fooled on and think that it was maybe a designer because it's got this really fresh opening. And it isn't until the fragrance really sits on my skin for a while and I see how long it lasts and how it's developed into something sort of herbal and sweet. I think out of the top, that blueberry and that bergamot and the freshness, I might sit there and go, oh, this is probably a really good designer scent. So I think I could be fooled definitely initially on Bleecker St. And I love, you know, you're talking about 2 fragrances here that I really, really enjoy. So those 2 right off the bat. The next one is one that, to me, smells like a combination of 2 designer scents. The first scent is the one by Dolce & Gabbana, and the second scent is Armani Code. And I think that this one is the best of both of those. I do have longevity problems with this one, so it's a lot like Dolce & Gabbana's the one. And for a niche scent, I think it should last longer. So performance issues, smells like designer juice. This one from the house of Sirius is called Number 14. And I definitely would probably think Number 14 is a designer scent if I didn't know any better. The next one is from the house of Creed. Surprise, surprise. And no, it is not Green Irish Tweed. It would be unfair to use that one, I think, because that one came out before the imitators, you know, the Cool Water and the Wings. So no, not Green Irish Tweed. This one is just really clean and soapy, and it's very high quality, but there's nothing really, there's nothing daring about this. There's nothing that would make me think that this wasn't put out to be mass marketed in a mall. It's really only when I know the name of this fragrance, and then I think I would start to put together, oh, well, wait a second, the citrus in this is really high quality, and oh, it's got that signature Creed to dry down with the ambergris, but the opening is soapy and citrusy, and so I definitely can see myself being confused on this one. From the house of Creed, this one is called Himalaya, and I could see confusing Himalaya with a designer scent. Another one from the house of Bond Number 9, and this one I think that I would think this one is a designer scent because it has such little development in its phases. It's really linear. I think that this one was a bad attempt to copy Creed's Aventus, and I think it was miles off. I think there are much better imitations of Creed's Aventus, Insurrection Pure, forget the other one, what's it called? You know, the one that Lewis Perry or Glenn Perry, you guys, Unpredictable Adventure or something like that. I think that's better. This one is a Lomani one that's better, Silver Spirit, I think it's called. This one is just really pineapple, and it's just really fresh. It's not a horrible scent. It's just very unimaginative. And I would think if I smelled it just on my hand, I would think, oh, this is probably just another boring summer flanker or something like that. It is very high quality, but I don't know if I would know that right away. Again, from the House of Bond number 9, this one is called Bleecker St. I just want to say that this isn't like, I'm not taking shots at Bond. There are plenty of Bond scents that there's no way you'd mistake them for designer. I have 6 Bond bottles in my collection, so I'm a huge Bond number 9 fan. The final one, and you know, this one might raise some eyebrows, but I'm going to tell you why I'm picking this one, because out of the bottle, I would probably definitely mistake this for Chanel's L'Homme. The reason why this changes for me and why this is worth paying $300 for, in my opinion, is because the notes are so intense and fantastic, and they last and project forever. And it's really only spending a long time with this fragrance that you start to discern the quality of what's in this bottle. And this is one of my top 10 favorite fragrances of all time. But I can't argue with people that say, "Oh, it's just a souped up designer fragrance," because they're right. It doesn't have a lot of boldness to it. There's nothing in it that says, yeah, we're working on a different level here. You know, we're doing something very different. And this house has tons of fragrances like that, rich wood. Take a look at the Oud Stars line if you want to see out there and different when it comes to oud. But let's be honest, Uden by Xerjoff is sort of very vanilla, and I mean that not like it smells vanilla. I mean very sort of plain and very likable and very appealing. And so out of the bottle, it's very possible that I would think Xerjoff was a well-made designer scent by the likes of Chanel or Dior or Hermes or YSL even. So there you go, guys. These are 6 fragrances that are in my collection that are niche fragrances that I think I might mistake for designer fragrances. Let me know if you agree or you disagree, and what's the number 1 fragrance that you think you know that's niche that you might mistake for designer, and what's the number 1 designer fragrance that you might mistake for niche? Really anxious to hear what you guys think, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back later this week with a review. I obviously am Maximilian. I must know. Peace, guys.